Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Just
and I've
this
seen
year?
that 287 times.
Goddamn. Gotta get ready.
The animated one, of course. The one where Baxter's robots.
I think if you would have said Michael Bay's.
Hey, Transformers.
Michael Bay's.
It was the OG trilogy of Transformers was pretty fire.
This first and third one.
Oh, Shia.
The second one was good.
I like the second.
I'm
Where
not.
Optimus dies and comes back.
I only like the first.
I actually really
First one was
liked.
really good.
I really liked the fourth and the fifth, to be honest. But I know
They're
that's
fine.
an unpopular
I
opinion.
like them.
Right here?
I like them. The reason they're disliked is because they don't involve transforming. Really, you know, it's more about like a storyline, and which is
I
why
miss
it's so
Michael
hated.
Bay's like visual style over like Bumblebee. I didn't really care
I
for
didn't like
Bumblebee.
either.
Yeah, it was just felt flat to me.
Dude,
I kind of like all like the complex. Like they look like cars.
Yeah.
Actually,
About
when they're
execute 'em?
Transformers.
Oh yeah, but like the solo.
No, the attention to detail they put.
Yeah.
Oh,
it-
the solo
The,
film.
the
Yeah.
other ones like
That
they're
was
simple, but
Yeah,
it
that
like
the Bumblebee's character.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
not.
so-
I like the
John
complex
Cena?
detail.
Oh, what?
John Cena was in that one, right?
Yeah, he
John
wasn't
Cena's
Bumblebee.
shit
He was the
actor.
villain, like the human villain.
Bruh, stay in WWE, which is like the minor league acting.
Cena's cool. He's good.
Yeah, but that's because he plays a character who just like gets mad at people, and like anyone could do that.
Yeah.
There's no range.
Can't see it.
There's no range. There's no range.
It's hard to see him like without just seeing John Cena.
Without just imagining. Dun, 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 dun. You're gonna do long ways with this one?
Which
Gotcha.
ones you got?
Only. Only.
I took 5 in my entire life.
Is that the right? Is that the
Every
right
other
verb?
iPhone? Every other iPhone.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day, but it's so funny, cause with just like money, and you could always tell someone's idea of cheap or expensive by if they use dollars or bucks. If they say bucks, they are saying that is cheap. If they use dollars, they're saying it's expensive. Think about it. Think about it. It's $50.
What a snackaroo.
$7. $7.
Never thought of it. No, I won't stop thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. Anytime someone tells me bucks, I'm like, ah. And then they're like, $8? Like, bro, you're fucking cheap. It's $8. It's $8. Ain't shit.
I'm ready.
I like the confidence, Chris.
Yeah, always.
Is this mic working?
Nate, I was telling you this the other day at school, but facial hair is makeup for men. Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't really.
Got some nice musings there, Zach. I gotta say.
We use it to
Oh, yeah,
we use
it
it to
doesn't
accent our facial
I guess
features.
it does, but I mean, like we could just probably have to share it. I
We
guess.
change it up every few months because, you know, we want to try a new look. There's different creams and oils and shits that we can use.
It took me 3 days to put my face on.
Yeah, exactly. It's just way faster. Just doing that.
Gotta keep the farting to a minimum.
Got tight space. Velvet holds scent. Remember that.
You really do. Tell me when. Alrighty. Welcome to the first episode of Brothers in Film. My name's Quentin Tarantino. just going to be talking about, I guess, our experience in film school, our dreams, wants, all that good stuff. So I guess let's go around the table and introduce ourselves. Let's go with, I guess, a couple of our favorite movies, focus of study, and maybe a couple of our favorite directors or actors. So let's start to my left here.
I'm Zach Bayer. Zach is my first name, not my last, like Gordon over here.
How you doing?
Favorite movies, anything Christopher Nolan, Dark Knight trilogy, up there, way far up there. I really like Ready Player One. That's also because I'm a super huge comic book nerd, and that has a cameo from basically every comic book character. I go to LA Film School. My major is the science of film, but hopefully be some sort of creative authority someday, directing, writing, all the type of stuff, all that good stuff. And I guess we'll keep the torch going,
I'm Cruz. My favorite film of all time is definitely the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. To me, it's like
The 70s one.
yeah, it's perfect. Some of my favorite directors probably are Tobe Hooper, Jordan Peele, Wes Craven. Obviously, he's one of my biggest idols and inspirations. Sam Raimi, and I'm in for directing.
My name is Pernell Robertson. I'm going to Los Angeles Film School. Some of my favorite movies that change all the time. Right now, it's Spike Lee's School Days. So, I'm right over here with him with Christopher Nolan. Anything Nolan drops, I'm there to see. Interstellar is probably up there. I'm feeling Interstellar right now.
Great film.
Yeah,
Great film.
I'm feeling
Still haven't seen
Interstellar.
it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's-
I saw it in
wild.
IMAX when it came out, and I don't think I've ever seen a movie reach that level yet with like IMAX cameras. But Nolan is one of my favorites. Scorsese, obviously, Spielberg. But I like all directors. Those are just the popular, ones. But so I could get deep into it, but those are definitely my top inspirations. And I'm here to learn how to write and direct. That's what I'm here to do.
Like I said, I'm Gordon Zacks. I'm going to try not to use my announcer voice. Like it kind of happens. My film, or I guess my focus of study is just film production. I'm just kind of doing it just to get a background in everything, see if anything is in particular. But done some writing, a little bit of acting in my past. My favorite films, I like LA Confidential, I like Chinatown, pretty much anything by Tarantino. Who I'm going to say favorite director.
Great director.
It's Tarantino. Yeah, the best. What else did I ask? I think that cover everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, good job.
I have a question. Who's Quentin Tarantino?
Get
This
on
guy
that.
over here does jokes. Look at that.
Kick him out. Kick him out. Get behind the velvet curtain. You need to see Interstellar. I'm stuck on
That
that.
is kind of. I'm surprised you haven't seen that.
That is
But,
one of Nolan's best films.
I would
Absolutely.
agree. I would definitely agree.
It's like 3 hours, isn't it?
Oh, worth
Yeah,
every minute,
worth
worth
it.
every second.
Worth it. Worth it.
Worth every
I
second.
got the attention.
You've never
span of a
seen
goldfish.
like you've seen like 2001 and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like it's I hate to say it's like this generation's that because they're completely different when you look at them, but it's really like you've never seen like a wormhole and a black hole like in a movie like that where it's like realistic as close as we know to what it is. It's like you've never seen those things in space, and how he really grounded those those sci-fi concepts was mind-blowing.
Every aspect of the film was it was very, very new.
Yeah.
Which was great to see because,
Even
I
the
think-
robots.
Yeah.
You've never seen a robot like that. in a
Yeah,
movie.
exactly. I think we can all agree that it's really hard to come across a new, creative, fresh idea nowadays in film.
And that's
It's
why I
very
love
hard to
because
see.
yeah, it's like Oppenheimer dropping this summer, and it's like who else gets a summer release date but it's like a war biography. You know, like who else gets
right.
that prime summer release date? But it's like just this big 3-hour war movie. You know, like he's the only director who gets away with that.
Yep.
I mean,
Exactly.
Oppenheimer, that's like
Yeah.
a stretch for a war movie.
Yeah.
Because like a 3-hour biopic on the guy who invented the nuclear
Exactly.
bomb.
You know, a prime summer release date. Give that to Marvel or DC or somebody, but nope, they give it to Nolan.
Give it to Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty ballsy because Barbie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Too.
Double feature.
Oppenheimer versus Barbie. It's gonna be the-
Two heavyweights.
Which one's gonna be better,
going
guys?
on?
Hey, but let's not forget Margot
Yeah.
Robbie, right? So,
She's
like,
amazing.
Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling, come on.
Yeah.
Is it Gosling? Who's playing
Gosling
Ken?
is
Or
good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
yeah.
people playing.
Michael Cera's in it. Is like
Yeah, Michael Cera is in it.
What's
Michael
like
Cera's
Ken's,
been
like,
gone
best
for
friend?
a while. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, both. Both.
Yeah, when was
films.
the last thing Sarah did?
Yeah, I can't
Bro,
even.
probably like Arrested Development.
I haven't seen Michael Cera in a movie in a while, so I'm
Because
excited.
there's 4 people that look exactly
Yeah.
like him.
It's like him, Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
McLovin counts in a sense, right? But
Yeah, a
who
little
knows what
bit.
he's
A
done.
little bit.
But both those movies have like a shit ton of actors.
Yeah.
Like Oppenheimer has Robert Downey Jr., Cillian Murphy,
Cillian Murphy's
It,
amazing.
Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr.
Matt Damon, Robert.
Is he?
Downey
Yeah, he really went.
And then
I heard
Barbie
some of the
has
director
everybody.
or some of the actors like took a pay cut because just to work and be a part of it.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got that juice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So not to be like that history stingy guy, but I think it's Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer,
But,
yeah.
if I'm wrong here, I'll look at bricks. So,
3-hour movies though, like you feeling them
It's a
still?
lot of 3-hour movies. I think Scorsese's next movie is like 3.5 hours.
The
4
Irishman.
hours long.
Anyone who could finish that in one sitting,
Yeah.
God bless them.
Yeah. I love The Irishman. I don't think I did it in one sitting. I've seen it a couple times. I don't think I've ever did. I always take my own intermission.
Yeah, 4 hours. I mean, you gotta
Yeah.
take a little poop break or something.
But yeah, it's been a lot of 3 hours, long
I don't
movies
think I can
coming
do
out.
it anymore.
Yeah.
I watched John Wick 4 and
John Wick was long. Yeah,
I
that's.
loved it. I loved the movie. It's the best one of them all.
I was
It's
surprised
so
when they
hard.
said, yeah, it was like, I was like,
3
wow,
hours, too.
longest out of all of them.
You got
Last Avatar was 3 hours.
You got Beau's Afraid from Ari Aster coming out on Friday. That's like 3 hours long.
Yeah,
So,
I'm super excited about that. But that is, I've heard it's like you love it or hate it. There's like
I am I'm excited about it, but Evil Dead comes out on Friday, so it's 3 hours or Evil Dead. I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna watch Evil Dead.
Yeah.
How many of these movies are going like straight to theaters though, or how many are going straight to streaming services?
They're all going to theaters.
You know, most of them have been going to theaters, but if they don't do well, they take them out in like a month.
Yeah.
You know, have you noticed that? Like Shazam just released like March, and I think it's already like about to be on HBO Max.
That
it's
movie
crazy.
bombed, though,
That movie
Yeah, it
is-
bombed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they're not making money, they just pull them out of theaters like after a month.
Yeah.
Movies used to be in theaters for like a while. Like you could go catch a movie if you didn't see it like the opening weekend. You could go catch it 2 months later.
Yeah.
But nowadays,
Okay, yeah,
like,
but like who like, and this is just kind of along that, like, who has cable nowadays?
yeah,
Who has cable?
exactly.
Anyone here have cable?
No, I'm all stream. I stream everything, or
Exactly.
I fucking
I have
pirate.
a PS4. I didn't even bother like creating an account for my TV because I just hook up my console and boom, I got Netflix, Hulu,
Yeah.
Crunchyroll, I got
Yeah,
HBO, I got everything.
But
Amazon.
There is things like you have to see in theaters. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree.
You
I
have to
agree.
experience those.
I agree.
Like Endgame,
Yeah,
a big cinematic moment, comic book moment. You have to see that in theaters. You can't
Yeah.
just Disney Plus it.
exactly.
That also
Exactly.
depends on your love of film too, though. You know?
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, we're the ones who are like, oh my god,
Exactly.
I need to see this movie on the big screen. But it's like to other people, they're like, I can watch it on my phone.
It really is starting to become like you need a reason for it to really like, because otherwise people are like, I'll just wait. Like, especially if they know like in 2 months, it'll be on streaming. I don't want to go waste my money. But it is interesting. I feel like COVID was really the
yeah.
shift.
Changed the game.
Yeah, because
yeah.
it was like HBO was doing like same day streaming, same day theaters. I've never seen nothing like that. I saw fucking Godzilla versus Kong on HBO Max when it dropped.
Yeah.
I was like-
That's I never would have seen like same day about.
yeah,
fuck
literally. Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
That one was good.
Yeah, I watched it on HBO Max when it dropped. I was
That's
like,
one I would have liked to watch in theaters.
yeah,
Yeah.
Really good.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was good though, because I do want to support these movies.
Movie tickets nowadays too. They're like, oh
it's
man,
like
dude.
going out to eat.
I took my girl to see a movie the other day. What did we see? We saw Mario, which by the way, better than I thought it would be.
That's what I keep hearing.
I'm not gonna lie,
I've
because
heard
I thought it
the
was
same.
gonna be ass,
Yeah.
but it was better than
It's a
I thought it
technical
was. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. And I took my girl, got maybe a drink and a bag of popcorn, and it was like $50.
I was gonna say about 50.
It's $56, bro. I'm looking at that shit. I'm like,
It is
I
expensive.
took my little cousin, who is 11, right, to see the Dungeons and Dragons movie. 'cause
I heard that was pretty good.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was just constant action, which after a
Yeah.
while, it was like, it loses its effect. Where it's like, okay, they're going to, they're fighting again. Like, check that out. It was like 2 hours. It wasn't bad. It was entertaining. Which is like, the worst thing a movie can do is bore, right?
yeah.
$70 to feed an 11-year-old kid and 2 tickets, including
That's
like
crazy.
a junior ticket.
Yeah.
You know, it's
But
like,
I believe it. Yeah.
oh yeah.
It is crazy. It's super expensive. Like I feel like it's like going out to eat. It's like going to a restaurant. Like you got to really like. I just don't go to the movies anymore. Like unless I'm just with a date or unless it's a movie I really like. Like I can't just go or unless it's early morning because early mornings are a little less. But
What kind of so I want to go around the table here, but what kind of movies and genres made you all want to pursue film? Like whether it's a specific movie, multiple movies, a genre, whether you just kind of always had that kind of feeling. I'm just a general curiosity here,
it's a good question.
and feel free to spit whoever
I
is
think
ready
the
for that.
first movie, and I'm sure I'm alone on this, is Pulp Fiction. Absolutely. Just
Wasn't my
because
first, but I respect it. I love it.
It's just as far as the storytelling and just the shot-for-shot selection, just the writing and everything. And I think Saving Private Ryan, just as far as like a story and how impactful, just the visuals and everything.
Yeah.
It's gut-wrenching watching that
Yeah.
stuff, you know?
One
And
interesting thing about Quentin Tarantino, I saw an interview with him, and he was saying basically how he writes his script and how he directs his scenes, and this is like the main thing that he does. But imagine like the tension of a rubber band, right? And you keep pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, and at some point it's gonna snap. He never snaps the rubber band until like the very end of the movie in like one scene.
So I actually started reading the scripts recently. Have you ever read
I
any
like
of
that.
Tarantino's scripts?
Oh, they're
Oh
wild.
yeah.
I hadn't read. I
I read the Hateful Eight when it leaked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started with True Romance, and I had never seen a script start like that before. I was like, oh my god! Like just as far as the visual and
Yeah.
reading, it's like you imagine who that's being pitched to back in the 90s.
Exactly.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god! Like they were hooked immediately. Just
Yeah.
Never anything like that. It was
It took
yeah.
three pages to get to the dialogue, and it didn't matter because it was just like
It's
how
just
the script is.
poetic.
It's such a great-
high level of creativity, man. Just such a high level, and that's like
It is.
that's why people think like, you know, when you ask like who are the most famous directors or who are the best directors, I guess Quentin Tarantino is usually one that comes to mind, I'd say,
Yeah.
because you know everyone has their own opinions, everyone's different, everyone likes their own genres, but I think everyone is on the same page when it comes to Quentin Tarantino
I never heard
being
anyone like
amazing.
I'm neutral on Tarantino.
Me
You know,
neither.
it's-
Yeah.
I've heard people say they hate him.
Really?
But I've never like seen just someone in between. It's like, but mostly I've seen mostly people love, and I love Quentin
Are they holding,
Tarantino.
like the foot fetish against him.
Yeah, you know, like, but
Those
I
people are
really
real
do
PC
love. I
guys.
love Tarantino. He's one of my biggest influence, especially as wanting to be a writer and director and tell stories no one's ever seen before. But yeah, Tarantino is
I just don't get it.
he's on the Mount Rushmore.
How can he's
Yeah,
Yeah, every one of his films is always, you know, it's a homage, it's a love letter to films.
it is. Yeah,
You can't, you know, well, I'm not going to say what you can and can't do, but if you don't like Tarantino, love film, it's kind of,
it's interesting.
it's interesting. But, I mean, the film that got me into movies actually was Godzilla, the 1998 one.
No
The one in New
shit.
York.
Okay, I was gonna say,
That's
which
what
one?
I was
Roland Emmerich.
I was what, like 6 or 7? The first, so that summer was big for me, right? You got Small Soldiers came out
Oh, dude,
Oh, I love
that movie
Small
when it came out.
Soldiers.
from Joe
man.
Dante, right? That was like,
Oh, that just brought
Phil
me
Hartman,
back.
alright.
I think that was the first movie I saw in theaters as a kid. The first movie they took me to theaters, it was Small Soldiers. But then
Yeah, yeah.
I saw Godzilla, and I was like, wow, this is so dope. And like,
I used to love that one as a kid. Too.
Great.
I used to.
They're great. I don't get the hate for
I don't get that.
Godzilla, the American
It may not be a good like traditional Godzilla, but it's still like a good
It's
monster movie, and like just
entertaining.
it's still pretty. I like Emmerich's movie. He was on a good run with like Godzilla, Independence Day. Yeah, Independence Day.
Was it, right? Or was it
Which one?
Mr.?
I don't know. Honestly, don't know. It might have been. I feel like that's. I can't remember.
My nose real quick.
Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, Independence Day is still like that scene where the White House fucking explodes.
Iconic.
Yeah, it's one of the Will Smith in his prime, Jeff Goldblum, but one of them.
Mr. is Jean de Bon.
Yeah.
Day After Tomorrow, you're probably getting confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, Day After Tomorrow was real good too. I like that one. One of the movies that probably got me. I can't really pinpoint it. I know one of the first movies I probably ever seen was Dinosaur, the Disney movie. Yeah, that was like one of the first.
Wait, like the
It was the one where like Aladar,
Aladar.
yeah,
and it's like the family of dinosaurs meets
yeah, and
the
like
little
the
caveman
monkeys,
boy.
yeah, or no, that's the good dinosaur.
Good Dinosaur.
That's the good.
The good
I'm
dinosaur.
talking about the one. It was like from the early 2000s.
Or something like
Yeah,
that. Didn't they have like lips or something kind of weird?
yeah.
I was like, I
The
remember.
cool
if I've
thing
seen
about
that.
that one though is like all of the backdrops are real. Like they really went to the desert and like the mountains, but like all the dinosaurs are CGI. So it kind of holds up a little bit. Like all my nephews and stuff it's funny seeing them grow up now watching it. But that was probably like one of the very first movies I ever seen. And like as a kid, I remember just watching it every fucking day. But the movie that probably got me interested in filmmaking was Jurassic Park. Because like just as a little kid, I just loved fucking dinosaurs and stuff. The first Jurassic Park and the second one. I love both of them.
Oh, dude, Lost World.
Yeah,
First saw it,
gets so much
blew my mind.
unnecessarily. It
Blew
gets
my mind,
unnecessary
dude.
hate.
When they ripped that guy apart.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, that was good.
All right. So I think we're gonna wrap up this section for now. We're gonna introduce our next guest. K Dot. K Dot. Yeah. Hopefully we'll edit. Yeah. We're gonna
Kendrick goes by K-Dot, guys.
We got K-Dot.
Thank you guys. Now we're introducing Kendrick.
Hello.
He's new to the circle right now. I knew he was sitting up for He's joining
I
us.
was an audience member. I was so excited. You guys are dope.
He's a great audience member.
You guys are crushing it.
A lot of team spirit. Supportive. Thank you. Yeah, it was great. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm K Dot. I go to LA Film School like the rest of you, and I'm actually kind of interested how y'all ended up there. If you don't mind launching into it. Yeah, fair enough. I went to a community college and wanted to redacted, and then so and so I just couldn't take it. And then I've heard this for a lot of people, but just like random ad, and I saw it, and then it was like pretty close to me where I lived, and then showed up and fell in love with film by accident. Yeah. The expression is crazy. Yeah. What about y'all? Yeah. Go ahead, announcer man.
How did I end up in film school? So,
I mean, I went to community college years ago, and then I ended up kind of fumbling around in my 20s, and then started a job as like a substance abuse counselor / tech. I did a lot of stuff in that field, and then eventually it just kind of sucked my soul out, and I got to a point in my life where I kind of wanted to actually go try and do something that I wanted to do as far as like careers, and then that kind of gave me some sense of purpose, and then just like feeling miserable going to and leaving work. So I was looking into film schools, and this was the one that I could kind of start the quickest, but it also had kind of everything that I needed to do. Didn't seem like it was lacking anything that the other major schools had. So, and I have family that's in the industry and stuff, so I've always been around it, been interested in it, and I figured I'd give it a go. So.
Good for you, man. Everyone deserves to like pursue what is going to keep them happy day in, day out, man. Day in, day out. That's what it's all about, man. You can't be dreading life. Okay.
Well, that and you did it too. I think a lot of people would just sit there and you actually still pulled the trigger on it. So good for you. Yeah, you did it though. What you, man?
I went to Bowling Green in Ohio, 2017 to like 2020. I majored in film and I minored in philosophy. around when COVID started, I dropped out. The traditional route just wasn't for me. Went back home, started working. I've loved film since I was a kid, and the opportunity. I'm from Detroit, by the way, so like the opportunities just wasn't there, you know. And I just kind of had this like epiphany. I'm like, what am I waiting for? You know, like so I literally drove like the whole 36 hours from Detroit to Los Angeles.
Good
And
lord.
yeah, and like when I came here, it was not my intention to go to film school at all. I was just young and I was like, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna go. But then my mom called me like, okay, how about we try to, so it was my mom's idea. I gotta credit my mom. I didn't, I don't know why it never crossed my mind, but Los Angeles Film School was a school like I knew about, was interested in. So I think that's why she called me and was like, well, let's try to get you in there. And they got me in there quick. They did. And I was super grateful, super blessed. So that's how my journey started.
Nice, man. Fuck yeah. City Detroit.
Yeah.
On a whim, right?
Yeah, literally. I said, fuck everything, literally. And I was like, let me just go, let me try. I'm young enough to fail, pick myself back up, but I didn't want to get old and like, man, I never took the chance.
Yeah, it's about chances.
It's me, crew. When I was a kid, my biological mom, she like was really, she got me really into like films right after Godzilla. She said like people make those because I didn't know how it worked. I was like, how do they get that dinosaur up there? Like, 'cause, you know, they made it. They make movies. So she told me what movies were. Things didn't work out with her, so I ended up getting adopted, and I got into like a stricter household. My adoptive mom, my aunt, she was a dentist, so she always wanted me to do like, you know, dentistry or like a real career, quote unquote, because she didn't think film was it's a dream, right? So,
And yet we're here.
yeah, we're here. So
Here we are.
Exactly.
I was going to college, but math, I fucking hate math. Like it took me out. After that, I wasn't getting good grades, so I just said, you know what, this isn't working out between my adoptive mom. So I joined the Navy. I served for 8 years, and then now they're paying my education.
Yes, sir.
Now that, you know,
Hell yeah.
live on my own, man. Well, my wife, but my kid, but I can do what I want. So I went to film school, so.
Hell yeah.
Except you got to leave at 8 because you're
Yeah, I was about to say, but you have to leave
Right?
it.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, as long as you're home by 8.
Yeah, as long as I'm home by 8. Yeah. Pregnant Colombian women, man, they're crazy. But no, hey, I'm 30 and I'm finally going for my dream, and that's all that matters.
Hell yeah,
At least
man.
I'm gonna try.
Proud of you, man.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Got to make it worth it. Yeah, so I think for me, you know, I honestly, when I was a kid, it was kind of funny because my mom was kind of always forcing me to, not forcing me, I guess, but she always pushed like acting on me. She always said that, oh, like you could act, because I remember specifically this one time, my sister's a dancer, and I went to like some recital or whatever that she had, or you know, and I was maybe like 10 at the time, and this like random guy like approached me and my mom. He was like, hey, like does your kid like have like an agent, or is he signed or anything like that? And my mom was like no, like, and then she took me home that night and she was trying to explain to me like this could be so cool, but like, you know, I'm a 10-year-old kid, so the way I saw it was like, I don't want to leave. Like, I don't want to pack up everything and go. Like, I want to go to school tomorrow, see my friends. So,
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's just imagine a grown-ass man saying, "Hey, kid, you got an agent? I got one in the van."
Yeah, no,
back
I feel
over
like
here."
that's like a sort of a lot of horror stories.
no,
Right?
but it wasn't like he came up to me. It was like me and my mom were like together. So it sounds weird.
No,
yes,
And your mom can get in my van, you know? I got plenty of room in there.
It seemed very like okay and very like, you know, not like predatorial at all. So
Is it okay?
I think so now.
Okay, good.
Because
Okay.
I'm not scarred. I'm good.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, you don't look scarred. I was
Nothing
gonna say,
happened.
Yeah. Well, okay, cool.
But yeah, so my mom always forced like acting on me, and I never wanted to do it. And it was kind of funny because I kind of started to lean towards that a little bit, thinking that would be a really cool option as I got older. And I hit a point where I was like, you know, I could do that, but it's just so unrealistic. Like, you know, everyone, you tell someone you want to be an actor or you want to do anything with film or entertainment, they're like, yeah, good luck.
Literally.
You know, that's their reaction because that's just the way it is. It's a brutal industry full of rejection. And I think after that, once I hit like 18, 19, 20, I started understanding that, you know, if I really worked for it, I really like put in the time, the effort, the energy, really was just productive with myself and with my time, that I could make it happen, you know, that it wasn't actually that unrealistic. And I know that's kind of weird to say, that it almost sounded more realistic like later on, because it would usually be the other way around, but that's just kind of how it went for me. So I remember I moved out here with the same intention of you, actually. I was just like, I'm gonna make it, I'm young. Like, I didn't even want to go to school.
Yeah, same, bro.
And then I realized something, no one's gonna just text me and be like, hey, you want a job?
Exactly.
So
You think you're funny, do ya?
Yeah.
but yeah, so then I was kind of thinking about just getting a degree in film. And there was a lot of different options at the time. And this was like right in the middle of COVID when I was like looking at school. So everything was online. So I was looking at schools like all over the country, you know, just because everything was Zoom. But I think I just decided that Los Angeles would just be the easiest choice. And almost like you, Gordon, as well, looking at it, it wasn't like it was lacking anything that I needed. So it just kind of fit the bill, and I was like, you know what, that sounds like a great opportunity, so I'm gonna take it. And the application process was very simple.
It was.
It was very simple. It was very fast. I remember I applied, and 2 weeks later, they're like, all right, you
Literally.
start Monday.
Literally.
You want to give us money? Come on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all kind of worked out. Just came together really easily.
I got another one I'm trying to throw up here at the buzzard, but what's a preconceived notion that you either had right or wrong? For example, one I had wrong, when I came to LA Film School, was how much is in between the idea and then it showing up on screen. I just thought that you kind of just pitched ideas and then you know go ahead with the script, and there's just so 20, 15, you know, there's so many people in the way of it. Or I shouldn't say in the way, but I had a preconceived notion that it would be a lot easier to get it to be realized versus the actual reality
I
of
know
it.
what you mean.
It's funny he brings that up, because it's actually like, yeah, if you are outside of the film world and you don't really know the science and the procedure of it all, you will 1000% underestimate it.
I feel like just from like everything I've been a part of, my personal stuff, like I wasn't prepared for like 70% of the time on set is just getting ready for the shot, you know? And then that small window, okay, we finally got the shot. So it's like, that was one of like the eye openers, because like it's filmmaking, it sounds fun, it is fun, but man, it's a lot of work. And it's, dare I say, boring, or just a lot of standing around, or just a lot of waiting to get, to get the shot.
Yeah, and if you don't love it.
Exactly.
If you don't have some kind of passion for it.
Exactly.
it's not.
I agree. Like if you love watching it, cool, but it's a whole different experience making it.
One of the first things I learned at film school, and this was just kind of like on my own, taking every single class, was that it's very interesting with film how something could either be so technical and down to the last minute detail, like a game of inches, or it could be this huge, broad like statement that just covers a lot of ground. Like there's no in between. It's either the tiniest little hair of a detail, or it's just this huge idea that covers so much ground.
It's crazy.
I mean, there's like a. I remember like seeing stuff about actors get paid millions of dollars and stuff like that, while you got like military people and first responders and stuff. And I understand how everything works with that. You say filmmaking's fun, but man, I think it's stressful.
It is.
It's a pain in the ass.
It doesn't compare to combat. It doesn't compare to none of those things.
It's a different type of
It's
stress.
a different type of stress.
You're working with so many people,
Exactly.
like all have to follow one vision.
And just think about like if you're the artist and you're doing all this, like you got all this stress to get this right?
Yeah.
You finally got everything that you believe is right, that you love about it, you're passionate. You send it out there, and then like sometimes like they get destroyed by millions of people. Like That's
Here's my hot take. Like you've ever seen like a video of a director just losing his shit on set?
yeah.
I now kind of like, I don't condone it, but like I fucking understand.
Oh, I feel it might have went a little too far sometimes.
Yeah. They've definitely, some of them have went a little too far, but man, have I like just from class projects, I'm like, dude, no one's fucking listening right now.
So last month for my last class, we did that group project where we had to recreate a scene from a film, and it was just that little 2-minute like clip you had to do, and everyone had their own part that they had to play. Everyone was a part of the crew, you know, and I thought it was going to be not easy, but easier than it was.
Yeah.
And I got to be the role of director, and I just remember every single and we're all amateurs.
Yeah.
We're all students.
Exactly.
You know, we're learning. So, you know, you gotta give them that at least. But I had all 15 of my classmates coming up to me the entire day going, like, should we do this? I want this.
Oh, that's the
and
fucking
half
worst.
the time they'd be asking the same question, just separately.
It's the worst.
Because they're all
They're making you like
acting on
second
their own.
guess yourself. You know, it's just like,
Exactly.
man, come on. You know, that's the worst.
I have kind of the opposite experience than yours, and I don't know if you experienced this being private military, but the amount of friction, I have experienced what you're saying in the sense of like, you know, maybe we don't see eye to eye, but coming to this school, it seems at least at bare minimum, most people are passionate. Like you're going to a specialty school, so I think when those moments of friction happen, I feel like, at least compared to the military, I feel like they come together a lot easier, especially with like, you know, the director having the final say and whatnot.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like it comes down to like someone has to put their foot down. We're gonna do this. We're gonna change it, whatever it is. But like you said, it comes down to just the director, you know, putting his foot down. Like, listen, you don't gotta like it, but this is what we're gonna do, and just do it.
You gotta be blunt.
Yeah, you do.
You just have to be.
You gotta step out. You can't be shy. You gotta.
You
really,
can't have that mindset of
hey,
like,
this
I
is
don't
your
wanna
vision
hurt
you're
their
fighting for.
feelings. You gotta be like, hey, no, I want this. Make it happen.
And the worst type of people like to work with are the ones like, oh, I don't think we can do this. I don't like. I care about everyone's safety. Like, I'm never gonna have someone do a shot or anything like that puts them in harm's way. But like, when I'm trying to get a shot or I'm trying to get something set up, and like, all I'm getting is just different suggestions or negative comments.
It's not
or,
their place.
Or why it can't be done. I'm like, no, man. Like,
It's not your job
One of
to
the most
think.
famous Kubrick's quotes is like, if it can be thought or written, it can be filmed. And like, I know it's Kubrick we're talking about, but I carry that philosophy. Like, one of the biggest parts of filmmaking is like being creative. Let's figure out how to get this shot. Don't tell me we can't, you know?
Hey, Kubrick was where we are.
Yeah.
Once.
Exactly.
He was learning the process. He was at the very
And that's
bottom
another
level.
we're all learning, like you said.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'm not an asshole on set, but I know exactly what type of director I'll be, you know. Like I had this one short film I was making, and like I had a girl, it was the guy actor, and they had to hug. It was a simple scene. The girl was leaving, you know, she wouldn't see her friend again, but the hug, I'm like, come on. Her boyfriend was in the room, and I wanted to turn to her boyfriend and like, bro, get the fuck out, because my actress can't work with you in here, apparently. I didn't do it, I bit my tongue, but it was something small like that where I'm like, you want to be an actress, come on, like, give him a hug, you know? It is, like I said, we're all students, we're all learning, but this is the time to figure out, like, cause I wanted to turn around, like, bro, get out of here. You're messing up the performance. But I didn't, but you know, it is what it turned out good. It is what it is.
K-Dot.
What's good, brother?
So before we introduced you and you came on, you know, we asked each other a few questions.
Sure.
And I'd like to hear from you. I know we all would.
Run it.
What are you in school for? Like, what's your pursuit?
So I'm gonna be film, but I mean, the end game is like editor.
Editor?
Yeah.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah.
I haven't met that many editors and aspiring editors.
I knew it. The second I said that,
No, it's rare.
It's that's dope, though. That's dope.
Hey, yeah, let me get your number.
Yeah, I got you.
That's
I don't
real
want to do
dope,
that
man.
shit.
What do you like about editing?
So I'm technically a bad editor. What I mean by that is like, What I mean by that
Okay,
is, like,
honest. I like it.
I've had my teacher be like, okay, so you're supposed to like know the shot and then edit it accordingly. But right now I've always just overshot everything and then like sculpted it down. And so my time in the editing bay is like 2-3x most people, which is not to say I put in that much more extra work. That's just because I trimmed down instead of just having exactly what it's supposed to be and then just chunk it up.
Well, I get
So-
tedious with that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
even, it's not
too.
even like my focus or anything, but like once you kind of get in like a flow, like as you kind of start to like
Yeah.
the project you're doing,
Yes.
you want to make sure that everything is like smooth, sound,
Yeah.
cuts and everything. It's like if you really care about it, you want it to come out good.
Yeah.
Gotta be-
Editing is like I don't want to be an editor, but like the editing process is like one of my most fun, or one of the most fun parts.
It's important to know how to
Yeah.
do just in case, because it's like
It's like that's when you really see it come together. Like you're on set, you're seeing everything raw. You don't know how it's going to come together, but like once it edits, you start to see the flow. You create a pace. It's like, okay, I got a movie. You know,
Yeah, no,
finally.
100%.
Yeah.
That's in post is where you see your vision come to
Yeah.
life. You don't see it come to life when you're face into
Exactly.
the camera telling
Yeah.
someone to do something in between takes. Like that's not you seeing your vision.
Yeah.
You know, but when you actually start to see the pieces of the puzzle get put together, you actually start to see that
And
big
it
picture.
kind of like takes a lot of stress off too. You're like, okay, it's coming together. You know, I'm actually
Absolutely.
doing good. Yeah.
I mean, you
Editing's
can do
fun.
everything perfectly, and if it's badly edited, the entire
Exactly.
thing is
Yeah.
ruined. You know?
Yeah.
Like, there's things
You could
Agreed.
have
Yeah.
the most phenomenal actors take the most amazing takes they've ever done in
Agreed.
their entire life, and if your edit is shit, the movie's shit.
Agreed. Editing is honestly like very, underrated. Like
Oh, very underrated.
you never want to see a movie that's edited. It has to be very invisible.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
just-
You don't want it.
yeah.
That's why post production is the most like.
It's like
trying to find the best way. To word
I find
this.
it like ironic because if you're doing your job right, then they won't notice it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like I like editing. I don't like doing the editing.
Yeah.
I don't like going into Avid,
It's-
going into Premiere,
It's
doing
a
it.
lot.
Right?
It's a lot.
And another thing I struggle with is like, here in school they beat it down that they want you to like, as a director, they want you to get as much coverage possible for an editor. But in my mind, I'm like, well, I don't want that. Like, I know what I like. I know what I want, and there's times where I've made like small little films, but I know what I want. I don't want to fucking put you like in a wide 2-shot if I just want you. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna do you, and then piece that together. You know what I'm saying?
I like that, though,
It's
yeah.
already like, this is what I want. Now you just make it blended in better.
Mhm.
I don't want to shoot coverage that I know I don't want to use. So
I mean, sometimes you never know, though, dude.
I mean, you
really
never
Yeah.
know, but at the end, of the,
I'd say it's because like I've worked with people like they get the exact shot they need, or like I've worked with other people like keep going, just get the whole thing. I'll see both ways, but like there are directors who do exactly what you say, like they storyboard it to death. So like once they're on set, and I just need that shot.
I mean, like,
I hate storyboarding.
Yeah. Oh, and
just-
storyboarding sucks too.
as far as like, I can just say this from my own life. It's like a lot of things that I think I want or I know I want at time were not
Yeah.
it. So it's like
Well, I
it
figured
goes with edit.
I figured like, yeah, take the extra shots for maybe the editor to find together like,
Yeah.
a better performance. But I don't want to do something that I don't want to use if it's my film. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So I guess here is like, the teachers have so far been like, no, well, you need to think about the editor because obviously you need a second opinion. You can't just be, it's a collaborative effort at the end. So.
Yeah.
That's why you're never gonna make it, Chris.
So what we've learned today is that you will get exactly the film you want if you do everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Literally everything.
I learned that you hate me. You won't shoot coverage
No,
for me.
no.
You won't shoot coverage for me, man. Come on, bro.
Cool.
I just want this. I just want.
No, I'm saying I'm learning how to get out of that mindset.
I
Yeah.
thought we were brothers in film.
I know.
But this is to go back to your question of like what's been the biggest your misconception, right? So
Yeah.
I mean now it's just like, okay, I want to shoot this my way, but I can't. I gotta think of everybody else.
It's true.
The film is
No, but collaboration is also where
No,
you
yeah.
find.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because sometimes you'll find something that. A lot of times you'll find something that you never thought of before, and that'll
True.
be like very interesting.
Very true.
This brand new perspective coming into play. They're telling you something that is so simple, yet it didn't pop into your own head.
Yeah, no,
I
for
agree.
Sure.
I
100%
never
collaborate.
shut out ideas. Like the stuff that I've made, like I'm always open to like, let me know what you think. I'll even ask like, this looks good. I communicate with my DP. Like, you know, is this cool? Yeah, so I'm always open because, like you said, you never know, like, that fresh perspective. And it's the collaborative process in general, you know. It's never just, you know, it's one vision, but it's all, like, we got to come together and figure out the best way for it.
Yeah, for sure.
You might have bounced the earlier question off of you too. Just what misconception did you have about film school?
Oh, yeah, another one I wanted to say
you did
was,
answer, my bad.
I did answer, but I
Yeah.
wanted to say another one was, like, just storytelling in general.
Like how important it is?
Almost like how...
Or the lack of it?
Yeah, fuck stories.
It's almost like, because
a pivot.
Movies, like, we know are visual, you know? So it's just like, how can I visually tell a story, but also, like, incorporate dialogue that's not telling the story, that's not telling you what a character needs or wants, but, like, still tells you that, you know, without, you know, explicitly saying what they're thinking. So, like, screenwriting in general was just, like, man, and like we were talking about one class earlier, I think it was mythology class. Yeah, we're taking this one class, and like, it's literally a science almost to storytelling. Like, when you really break down, it's different skin, but the same skeletons under every story. You know,
the weirdest part too is like, you don't think about it, and then once you take that class, it's so obvious.
Yeah,
and
it's the
so
most
apparent,
obvious
you know?
thing.
And
I've been having so many illusions broken from filmmaking. Like, I don't watch movies the same anymore, you know?
They said that in the beginning.
Yeah, I literally don't watch movies the same anymore.
Did a question for you, did it help or did it heighten or diminish for you? Because, for example, I know people who've gotten into music, well, he's on, obviously not, but who've gotten into music, and sometimes it could, like, you know, when you get behind the curtain, you lose the allure. It enhanced it for me because I was just like, I was like, oh, I see what all the work has been done for this. I was
it
like,
makes you
crazy.
just wonder, like, dude, how did they do that? Like, every shot I'm wondering, like, how the hell did they do that? You know, especially for like big action movies and shit. Now I'm like, holy shit, like that requires so much stunt work and CGI. I'm like, how did they do that?
it like takes, like, as a viewer, it kind of takes some of like the quote unquote magic away, but like your appreciation for it, or the art of it.
The art of it. Now, when I go to the movies, like, I'm not every scene, like, like I'm able to turn. I'm able to.
Dolly shot right there. Guys, check that shit out. You know?
It's on and off. But like, when I'm in study mode, like when I'm watching something and I'm like genuinely trying to get inspired, like I'm definitely like, how did they do that? Like, I'm trying to really figure it out.
Yeah. Of course, like I'm a big physical media collector.
Same,
like
bro. I think same. And with vinyl and DVDs.
Yeah. So it's like watching behind the scenes of how everything gets done, how everything gets made is like.
Yeah.
Dope.
You know, there's
Where
this.
the fuck was I going with this? What was the question?
I don't know, but I like where you're going.
No, what was your?
Well, the initial one for the whole table was essentially like, what was the misconception you had about film school?
Well, but you had asked another question.
I don't forgot, brother. I'm so sorry.
I just went on a tangent about physical media because I was supposed to build off that. But
you know, there's this really super cool thing out there, and you can see all of like the behind the scenes stuff, and it's called YouTube.
No, seriously.
Yeah, but I like having it. I like spending my money stupidly. You know?
No, I'm a big physical media, like
the art, the cover, like they do some cool shit with it.
You gotta have the wall.
Like I got my 4K. I got a 4K collection.
Sorry, it came back.
All right, guys, but what happens if
he's back? Over there.
Back on the scene. Let's go. Let's do this.
It came back.
Oh, the question?
It was about watching movies differently now that I'm.
Oh yeah. Has it ruined or enhanced it?
No, like I have been able to like switch it on because that's why I buy the movies. Like, so I'll watch Return of the Living Dead. I'll enjoy it. So if it comes time for me to prep a film based on that, then I'll go back and be like, what I liked about it, and then analyze that, watch the behind the scenes. So for now, like, it doesn't, like, I don't go to like a movie and like, well, yeah, like dolly shot. Or like, yeah, it's cool. I take in the movie for what it is.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I think about it, and then if I want to watch it again, then I start analyzing.
Same.
It. So.
That's pretty much how I do it. Like,
so
because you can never watch anything for that first time again, you know. So after, it's always like, okay, like now I'm trying to connect the themes. I'm trying to see how they did it. You know.
Yeah. I'm not thinking of fucking themes and motifs. Watching Super Mario Bros. I'm in there because it's fucking colorful and everything's
I think
detailed.
Super Mario was very good at exposing the dangers of capitalism, actually.
Man, I feel like we should shout out our audio producer and producer.
Yeah. Dustin, the sound guy.
Yes, sir.
Did a great job
Shout
today.
out to
That's his full name.
Yes, Dustin the sound
There's
guy.
your last name.
It says
Dustin.
that on his ID.
Italian last name.
Shout out to
Dustin
Nate.
Hoffman.
Yeah, producer Nate,
Together,
Nathan
Drake.
Lee.
Nathan, oh.
bringing the people together.
Nathan Lee, the producer, brought us all
I
together.
don't know if you got to drop the whole government, but yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, give me an auto tune too.
You're the one who doesn't.
I got a
You
question.
guys want to we should plug in your social media.
Oh yeah,
K-Dot,
yeah.
like,
True.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually go by on social media. I go by Liam Latif. So that's what's.
Not
Yeah,
I got
K-Dot. It's all betrayal this whole time.
I got a question.
Go ahead,
We
brother.
can start with our guest, but
Run it.
what do you think is the most significant thing you've learned from film
Ooh,
school?
what a good question. This is the most significant thing I've learned from film
Like
school.
something that just you think personally pushed you to like the next level.
It's a good question. I'm going to stall briefly and say that it's been I actually know the answer, and I think it's sadly not one solidified thing, but it's just I've learned way more from paying attention to teachers than I have the instructions of the class. So in other words, like there's been times where they've been like, hey, this is how social etiquette is, or this is how just anything like that, and I think that just all those little crumbs that have been dropping off. So
For sure.
I wish
Actually,
that manifests into some like holistic idea that I could really present, but I think it's just that general paying attention to the granular and then and enhancing just their skill across the board.
like the tidbits from the teachers are way more valuable than
They are.
Then I think people
They drop
realize. Then I think
gems
people
a lot.
realize.
A lot of gems.
Yeah. No, not yeah. Fill that to other people. I wish I had a bigger idea to represent that. But yeah.
Gordon, you got something for that?
What was the question again?
What do you
Fry.
think is the most significant thing you've learned in film school? Something that pushed you to the next level of filmmaker.
I mean, it sounds cheesy, I think, but like the power of teamwork, because obviously going into this, like a film is a collaborative effort,
yeah,
right? But
Not
your
obviously.
idea or your
Not
piece,
everybody knows it's a collaborative effort. Or
I
sees
hope
it
everyone
as
at this table does.
That's true.
I'll just love after this show.
Because you can be the writer, the director. Yeah, and you think that you might have the starring or a huge piece of it, but like as important as your piece might be, there are 15, 20, 30 other pieces that are just as important as yours to make it come together in a coherent, good, artsy, however you want to put it. A solid film is always going to be a collaborative effort where everyone is pulling. At least I would like to think.
Yeah, because you notice when it's not firing on all cylinders.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And just one. So if the sound's off, bad. The editing's off, bad. If one actor can't hold their weight, bad. If the directing's off, all these different things. If the lighting guy, if something's off, it diminishes the product.
A lot of linchpins for sure.
What was
a
that?
lot of linchpins, like a lot of
Yeah.
just ways for it to unravel.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What's up? Oh, true. Your stuff is full.
Listen to the producer.
Film for you.
I would say one of the biggest things, and I'm kind of newer than I think everyone here, but one of the biggest things I've learned so far is time and time management. And like you said, some of the professors, they drop gems. Like one of my professors, they were like, however long you think you're going to be shooting a film or whatever, give yourself 3 times as much to rehearse and prepare. So, and I think just preparing, time management, and budget, all those things is like just are super valuable, because you're going to always wish you had more time. You're going to always wish you got that shot, So I think just from the stuff we've done in class, my own stuff, one of the biggest just like lessons is time, man. Learn how to use your time.
Oh yeah. I think, what was that? How long was it that Peter Jackson was working on storyboarding for Lord of the Rings? Wasn't it like 5 years?
Yeah.
5 years to shoot all 3 Lord of the Rings back to back to back.
It's
Even
crazy.
The production for that was like 1 whole year, just like before they even touched set.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
There was a
Yep.
lot of
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Rigorous
yeah.
process.
And this is money you're spending,
Oh, yeah.
This isn't cheap. So like when you're on a time schedule, when you're renting out a studio, you're outside, or
You gotta be
working with a crew, like
on it.
let's be on it.
When you were saying time too, I have like a different, I guess, like extrapolation from that, which is, I didn't realize. I think when you have another 9 to 5, it's pretty obvious. Like when you get off work, it's you. But when you were talking about time now, like you can do anything in your off time as far as coming to film. And so if you're not if you're not shooting your own stuff, getting your own reps, I realized that that I think it's a 24/7 job, and I
It
didn't
is.
know that coming into it.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like, even just starting off, you know what I mean? You want to, it's hard because you work on a project and you don't know when you're going to start working again. So, like, in between that time, you're really still, like, working, you know? You're
Oh,
still
yeah.
trying, you know?
You're thinking of ideas while you're in the
Exactly.
shower. Like
Exactly.
you're always working on
Exactly.
it.
Literally, you know? And, yeah, that's just one of the biggest things I've definitely learned.
Yeah.
Cruz, what about you, my man?
I'd say containing my ideas. We'll go back to Godzilla, right? It's a big film. So
Everything can be
everything
traced
goes
back to
Yeah, that's the
Godzilla.
lesson.
Godzilla is the Lizard King.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's always been big for me. So all my stories have always been like grandiose or just big. And now I've been learning how to contain them, how to keep them in one setting, how to do
That's
something
crazy.
on
Yeah.
a smaller scale.
I'm
Because
glad you said that.
I'm an independent filmmaker with no budget, nobody right now giving me the money to do something. So now I gotta figure out, how can I do this for free? How can I use the resources to do that? And what story makes sense? I can't make a Godzilla film with no money, right? I need millions of dollars. So I need to find something that can help me get to where I want to get there. So
Can I just say one thing really fast? I'm glad you said that because I was the same way. Like, big ideas, big, but like keeping it simple is almost hard.
It is
How can I make
fucking
something
hard.
simple, interesting as fuck? You know, but it's also fun. You start to like really dig into that. So like, I agree 100% with that too.
That's kind of
It's
the
just-
magic of it, though. I think is if you can learn how to craft a good tale and make it look
Exactly.
good, a simple one like that, then
Exactly.
then you can do the bigger
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
Agreed.
then that shows you have talent for
Yeah.
it, right? Have an eye for it. I don't know.
I think for me, you know, honestly, basically what you're saying, maybe just adding a little bit more on it, is just specifically finding interest in simple things. You know, being able to make a simple conversation between two
Yeah.
people turn into like the most intense
Yeah.
scene. You know, I think
It's an art to that, man.
yeah, exactly. And I just going off that, I think for me the biggest thing I learned was just the audience needs to feel something.
Yeah.
You need to feel something when they're
Yeah.
watching. You know, you can't
You can't just be watching people.
you can't just be watching and you know, it's like kind of interesting, kind of not. Even if it is like super interesting, like you need to there needs to be some sort of emotion, whether
Yeah.
it's happy, whether it's sad. If your audience doesn't feel anything at all, it's not going to stick with them. Because even if they liked your ending or they didn't like your ending, if they're still talking about it 2 months after the film
Exactly.
was watched, then you did a good job.
Yeah.
That's why even some of those like classic B movies, like The Room or something like that, where it's like
Yeah.
a terrible movie, but people enjoy watching. It, you know, like
Exactly.
they laugh at it, they feel
Interesting,
something. Because
exactly.
It's like, if your film can make somebody feel something or just not be bored,
wait, like
And-
the Room, like Tommy Wiseau.
yeah,
Yeah.
that movie's still in theaters, dude. It's
I
been
know, I
20
know.
years.
I know.
There's a reason for it. Is people really like watching the movie for whatever reason. I mean, it's a piece of
I
shit.
would even I would like to say like also like because we talk like a lot of filmmakers, like we were talking about Nolan earlier, who like a lot of people call realistic and grounded, but like when you really start to see behind the scenes of like filmmaking, there is no realism. You do what you do to make the audience feel something. So like movies have their own rules entirely. It's not always about, oh, this is how it is in real life, because in real life, you know, on the screen, I'm not gonna feel that. You have to show me on the screen why that matters, why this is important, why am I listening to this, you know? So
There's gotta be a purpose there.
yeah, like even if you're making a realistic, quote unquote realistic movie, when you're making it, you can't adhere to what real is. You have to, it's a movie, you know? So how is what you're doing gonna make me feel something when I'm watching it?
And realistic or not, too, no matter what you're making, there always has to be some sense of relatability.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a lot easier to grab emotion from a character if you're looking at a character and you're like, he's me.
Yeah.
You know? That's me.
Definitely.
That's my sister.
Definitely.
Like that's my life.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I've been really trying to crack like the whole code of telling like human stories, even with like big ideas, like even with the Avengers and Captain America movies or Marvel and DC movies, like they're still underneath that, they're a human movie. Like they're trying to find something that we can relate to. They're trying to do something that we can relate to, you know, like finding love, finding success, finding things like those are, when you break it down.
Being a good person.
Exactly. When you break it down, those are easily things we all relate to. Just trying to be the best you can be, you know?
I think that's a universal thing in all like good art.
Yeah.
It's like you view it, you listen to it, or whatever. You feel a little bit more human seeing it, and that you see the humanity in others, and there's a connective force into it that kind of.
Agreed.
You see a good movie, you feel something watching other people portray these human emotions, blah blah blah, and everything. It gives you a little bit broader, I don't know, perspective or understanding, whatever. It makes you feel a little bit more alive watching that. Any good piece of art should make you feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
For me, that was Matthew Broderick in Godzilla.
Can our theme song be the Godzilla?
Just that we're gonna end the show. With
I was
just
gonna say that's the best way to end it right there.
All right, I think we're gonna have to wrap it up right now, guys.
Yeah,
Hey, this was fun.
Thanks, K-Dot, for joining us.
Yeah,
Our
you guys are
special
awesome.
guest.
Yeah, you guys are sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to see your guys' movies.
Yeah.
Same, man. I hope to see you all on set one day.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can edit something for me.
Yeah.
You want to shoot covers for me?
I will, man. I'm working on it.
So thank you, everyone. This has been episode 1 of Brothers in Film. Hope you have a good one. Tutu. Ta-ta. What, I don't know what the right. Yeah, bye.
Ta-ta is a proper sound.
Ta-ta, TT.